Da Nang, Republic of Vietnam, January 1966. Under the tropical sun, the 3rd Marine Division Band strikes up a proud march as dignitaries gather for the dedication of the new U.S. Naval Hospital. 4 drummers in crisp tropical khakis stand at attention before the formation while the band plays on. Stepping from a sleek staff car, Admiral R. Johnson, Commanding Chief of U.S. Pacific Fleet, emerges in starched khakis, cartridge belt, and sidearm. He is greeted on the tarmac by the hospital's commanding officer, Captain B.L. Kanaga, and senior medical staff. As the band continues to play, Admiral Johnson, accompanied by Captain Kanaga and General Walt, moves through the ranks of crisply turned-out Navy and Marine Corps personnel. White uniforms and khaki utilities stand at rigid attention, salutes snapping as the reviewing party passes. On the porch of the new hospital building, Navy Chaplain Murray delivers the invocation, with Admiral Johnson standing solemnly to his right. Moments later, a Marine colonel in tropical khakis takes the podium. Facing the formation with back to camera, cartridge belt and .45 holster clearly visible, he addresses the assembled troops and dignitaries, formally dedicating the United States Navy Hospital at Da Nang, a modern 300-bed facility that will serve as a critical medical stronghold for American forces across I-Corps. Another symbol of resolve in the escalating struggle. The Marine Colonel concludes his remarks as Admiral Johnson returns to the microphone. In a special presentation, the Admiral pins the Silver Star Medal on Commander R.E. Anderson, Commanding Officer of the Marine Corps Detachment, for gallantry in action. The 2 officers exchange a firm handshake while ranks of Navy and Marine personnel in tropical khakis and dress whites stand in perfect formation, watching the ceremony unfold. Moments later, with Captain Kanaga at his side, Admiral Johnson steps forward and, with a single cut of the ceremonial scissors, severs the ribbon stretched across the entrance. The new United States Naval Hospital at Da Nang is now officially open, a modern medical center ready to receive and treat the wounded from the expanding ground war in I-Corps. As the ribbon falls, Marine and Navy officers render final salutes, and the assembled troops break into sustained applause. Another vital facility now stands ready in America's growing effort to bring stability and freedom to the Republic of Vietnam. With the ribbon cut and the hospital officially dedicated, Navy Chaplain Murray leads the officers on the porch in a final prayer, heads bowed in solemn reflection. As the ceremony concludes, Admiral Johnson and General Walt move through the area, pausing to shake hands with local Vietnamese civilians and corpsmen who have gathered to witness this milestone. A Marine officer in tropical khakis escorts 2 Navy officers in dress whites past the porch of the gleaming new building, while the Admiral continues greeting well-wishers. At the nearby landing zone, the dignitaries board a waiting UH-1E helicopter. The rotor blades begin to turn, kicking up red dust as the party lifts off, 3rd Marine Division insignia clearly visible on the aircraft's side. On the road below, military trucks roll past a freshly painted billboard that reads Station Hospital, U.S. Navy, Support Activity, Da Nang, Vietnam. Quonset huts and water tanks mark the expanding American presence. The helicopter banks away, carrying Admiral Johnson and General Walt back to their commands, leaving behind a vital new medical facility now standing ready to care for the increasing number of American fighting men committed to the defense of freedom in Southeast Asia.
Later that same day, aboard a U.S. Navy attack carrier steaming in the South China Sea, Senator W.B. Brewster, Democrat of Maryland, arrives by helicopter for a first-hand look at 7th Fleet operations. Escorted by Captain John P. Slater, commanding officer of the A-4 Skyhawk Squadron, the senator steps on to the busy flight deck. A-4D Skyhawks of Attack Squadron 44 sit chained and armed, ready for the next strike mission over North Vietnam. Marine officers in tropical khakis and flight-suited Navy aviators greet the senator, as crewmen in colored jerseys swarm around a freshly landed UH-34D of Marine Helicopter Squadron HMM-261. Senator Brewster pauses for a brief word with Captain Slater before boarding the return flight to Da Nang. As the rotor blades spin up, the camera pans across the packed deck. A-4s loaded with ordnance, the massive carrier underway at full speed, catapults steaming, and the endless blue expanse of the South China Sea stretching to the horizon. From this floating air base, American air power continues its daily missions in direct support of ground forces fighting to preserve a free South Vietnam.
O Trinity of love and power, our brethren shield in danger's hour. From rock and tempest, fire and foe, protect them wheresoe'er they go.
As the sun climbs higher over the South China Sea, flight deck operations continue at full tempo. Rows of sleek Douglas A-4 Skyhawks sit chained to the deck, canopies raised while ground crews complete final checks. One by one, the little bombers roll forward, wings folded, then spread, pilots giving the thumbs up from open cockpits. An A-4 taxis into position on the port catapult. The hold-back pendant snaps into place. Steam hisses from the slot as the catapult officer drops his arm. In a roar of J-65 power and a blinding cloud of white steam, the Skyhawk is hurled off the deck, instantly disappearing over the bow. Seconds later, another follows, then another, each disappearing into the haze, bound for targets deep inside North Vietnam. From dawn to dusk, America's carriers keep the pressure on the enemy. Day after day, these same Skyhawks will strike bridges, supply routes, and troop concentrations, giving direct on-call support to U.S. Marines and soldiers locked in combat ashore. This is Yankee Station, the sharp edge of American air power in Southeast Asia, 1966.
Its own appointed limits keep. Oh, hear us when we cry to thee.
The cycle never stops. Another A-4 Skyhawk rolls into the catapult slot, wings lowered, hook engaging the shuttle. A quick salute from the pilot. The catapult fires, and in a flash of flame and steam, the bomber is airborne, climbing steeply away from the deck. Moments later, the deck is ready again. An A-3 Skywarrior, the Navy's heavy attack bomber, taxis forward, followed by returning Skyhawks, dropping their hooks to snag the arresting wires. One after another, they slam onto the deck, tails jerking violently as the cables bring them to a screeching halt just short of the barrier. Senator Brewster, still aboard with his Marine Corps escort, watches the controlled chaos of flight operations, launches and recoveries continuing around the clock. This is the beating heart of American naval air power off the coast of Vietnam. Carriers like this one, delivering strike after strike against the communist North, while keeping close air support on call for the men fighting on the ground. From the new hospital at Da Nang to the flight decks of Yankee Station, America's armed forces stand united and ready in the crucial year of 1966.